Little look, see. Hello all, I think we're live. I think we've got it to work. Do you know what? And you might have seen this. We've been here setting up the room now for like the last half hour and everything's been absolutely fine. The little screens all looked happy until the minute when we're meant to hit live and then the cameras just disappear and they're all gone. So apologies if we're a couple of minutes late. It's never intentional. It's just us mashing buttons. We've had such a funny techie week this week. We did a, was it this week? We did a live for Canada. It feels like yesterday in one way and like a lifetime
a few days ago, wasn't it?
But a few days ago we did a live for a Canadian distributor and that went terribly wrong as well. Honestly, I don't know what's going on around here. I think the house is cursed when it comes to tech. But you haven't tuned in to listen to me whinge, so I'll stop moaning, I promise. Now, first questions first. Did you like the photo that I put up of Pete about an hour ago? That was such a caught
me unawares there.
Action shot that was.
Yeah.
I was literally like, look at the photo, look at the camera, and just took his photo. And he was like, what have you got? What are you doing? It was a little bit Ozzy Osbourne,
Not
actually.
Kevin and Perry or whatever.
No, a little bit Ozzy Osbourne.
Was it Ozzy?
But yeah, so in that photo, how many of you, and you can tell us in the comments, how many of you zoomed in to see what was on the tables? I want a little confession time. How many zoomed in? Tell me, did you zoom? Did you have a little sneaky peek? Because if you did, I don't blame you. That was kind of intentional, but you would have only seen a couple of the bits we're bringing you this evening. There are 21 new product lines to share with you. So lots and lots to get through tonight and a terrible night to be 5 minutes late. So I genuinely apologise. I can see lots of you are joining us. Let's have a little look. I've changed this week. I've got rid of the seat because I can't see. Last week we put in a higher desk. And when I sat here last week trying to make what I was making, I couldn't see over the top of it to see if anything at all was level. So I said I'm going to have to get rid of the chair and stand. So this week we'll see if that works any better. So let's have a little look. Who have we got with us? We have got Samantha, good evening, Judy. Lovely to have you with us. Joyce, evening, Sue. Lovely to have you with us, Charlene, all the way from Alberta, Canada. Lovely to have you here. Evening, Wendy. Evening, Kim. Lovely to have you here, Zoe, Angela, Fran, Lou, Megan, Lynn. What are you zooming in for? What's that about? Lynn is on our design team, for anybody who doesn't know, and half the samples, or not half, but quite a few of the samples I'm going to share with you this evening are, of course, done by Lynn, and then lots of the others are done by Ian and Sharon and Wendy. And soon, oh, here I go already, we haven't even begun, and I'm giving you little sneakies.
What are you about to say?
Soon, we may be announcing a new member to our little team, but we'll give you more on that next week, maybe. Let's have a little look. Where did I get to? Who else is confessing? Lots of you. I love it. Evening Jane, evening Angela, evening Pippa. I'd like to see that Lou's confessing and telling us the truth. Kim had a little zoom. I like it. I love the confessions. We love to give you little sneakies. We've been doing a few of them recently, but not everyone's picked up on them because they're probably a little bit too hidden. But we have been giving you little sneaky bits. Last week, I gave you a little hint that behind Pete was some of the new items we was going to be announcing this week, but nobody commented, nobody picked up on it. But tonight, we can share with you what they're going to be. But before we get carried away, and I forget lots of things because I will, today, we've been running a competition on the Jamie Rodgers Crafts Facebook page. That doesn't work, does it?
I feel we've not introduced Hostage Cam yet. They'll be wondering.
Oh, yeah, of course, Hostage Cam.
They've heard a voice and they've seen a picture.
I'm glad you're here because I just totally forget. Let's give you a little view on Hostage Cam. We even
not that they need to see me, but hello all. How are we all doing? Hope we're all good. So,
is this like the Queen's speech moment of the evening?
Caught me unawares. I might have been hiding his birthday present because it's birthday end of the week, isn't it, James?
Might be.
It's a big
40. It's not a secret.
It's not. It's 40. No. 40 on Friday. So got a lovely cake from Lynn.
I did get a lovely cake from Lynn.
That's good, Lynn. Thank you very much.
Good.
She
warned us how much was in it.
She did.
She was like, "There's so much."
It was like a weightlifter lifting the
gorgeous cake, though. It
was lovely.
Absolutely amazing. Very, very spoiled already, and we're not even anywhere near the big day yet. So yeah, counting down to that in a few days. And maybe that's the reason we're in such a giving mood, and why we are giving away a trio of stencils. Is there 3 there? There is there. I just our trio of stencils. And this post-it, look, I keep sticking this post down to who's one and it keeps turning up and I can't read the name. That's no good at all, is it? So Margaret Ride is the winner of our trio of stencils. This, if you'd missed this was another little sneaky peek. We told you first thing this morning we'd be introducing you to 21 new products today. Then we asked you to tell us, in order to win the stencils, how many new products that we was introducing you to. And Margaret was one of over 60 people who guessed the right number. So thank you very much for all taking part. I like the way you're trying to be sneaky. You can't just come in and move it. They won't mind. There we go. We'll get rid of that so you don't see the edges of it. So Margaret, could you please send us a message to the Jamie Rodgers Crafts page and we will have one of our little elves post these out to you straight away. Thank you all for taking part in our competition. It is lovely to have you all play along with our silly games throughout the days. So Pete, I have just caught getting himself a little hand of nuts. See, while I work, this is what Pete's doing.
Excuse the expression, a mouthful of nuts.
That's what Pete's doing. There's me trying to hand off the stencils, and what's he up to? He's over there squirreling away. It's typical. So what other housework have we got to get out of the way before we start introducing you to the new goodies? So we've told you of our winner. We've told you the 21 new items we're going to introduce you to this evening. We need to start telling you about when and where you can purchase these, because as you know, our sneaky peek nights are our chance to share with you what's coming out. So these will launch exclusively on Thursday to Highlight Crafts. And we have got shows at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. At 10 a.m, we will have a 2-hour launch of this brand new collection. At 2 p.m, we will be bringing back the Architecture collection. I got it right again, didn't even read it. Doing well with that. Architecture collection at 2 p.m. So 3 great hours on Highlight Crafts. On Monday will be Stockist launch day. So it will then be available to all of our stockists up and down the country. So stockists, if you're with us this evening, and the world actually, but especially the country. So stockists, if you're with us currently and you would like to drop a link in the comments of where our lovely customers will be able to purchase these goodies from come Monday, please feel free to do so. We always ask you to say hello, join in the chat, and of course share a link to tell us where we can get hold of these new goodies once they're released on Monday, which is the 31st. Also on the 31st, being Monday, at 10 a.m, am I reading the wrong times for all of these things? I am completely reading the wrong times. Forget everything I've said. Sorry. 2 notes and I'm reading the wrong one. Highlight Craft shows are 9 a.m. till 11 and then 1 till 2. Let's try that again. So 9 till 11 will be the 2-hour launch of this collection, and at 1 till 2 will be the Architecture collection. Off to the other post-it. On Monday, the 31st, I will be on at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. 1 hour at 10, 1 hour at 2. At 10 a.m, we will be having a look at the brand new collection. At 2 p.m, if all goes to plan, something I can't tell you about. So I'm just going to say shtum on that one, and we'll have to come back to that later in the week. But something different at 2 p.m, that all will come clear later. Quite cool. I'm quite looking forward to it, if it happens. If not, we'll fill that hour with some other joyous goodies. So I feel like I've been waffling for hours and we haven't shown you anything new. So shall we get bringing in the new goodies? Come on, Pete. Shall we do a quick run through actually of all of the new goodies, and then we will take you through samples and pricing, because I feel that I've held you waiting and you just want to see what's new. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to have to go get these because Pete don't know what I'm on about. But we're going to start off with the something shiny. Just going to move these out the way a little bit.
Kim's got a bowl of nuts too.
Who's she?
She's not at the pub.
She's not at the pub, and instead...
Have you got a beer in hand though, Fran? Not Fran. Fran, I'm a cup. Sorry, Fran, I'm accusing you of having a pint in your hand. Is that lovely Kim? I meant, have you got a beer in your hand, Kim?
So Kim, you're happy to accuse of having a pint in her hand,
Fran
but
might
not
have a drink
Fran.
in her hand as well.
I wouldn't blame anyone if they're drinking when they're joining us.
Not having
It's
to watch us.
probably like recommended. Okay, so on to new goodies. I mentioned we were bringing something shiny, didn't I? Let's start off with... Let's have a little look in this pot of joy here. What is your predictions that's going to be in our little pot number 1? Oh, underneath the seal, what have we got? We have got brand new Jamie Rodgers Crafts Gilding Flakes. Now, aren't they the most shiny, silver, gorgeous Gilding Flakes you have ever seen in your life? Well, I hope they are, because they certainly are for me. These are 100 ml jars of Gilding Flakes. So quite a large size pot, 100 mils in each one, jam-packed full of these goodness to play with. And there are 6 colours to play with here. So we start off, let's try and give you the right names. This one is Vintage Chrome. So you can see just how shiny and gorgeous that is. Now, I love Gilding Flakes because there is so much we can do with these. We can be adding these over our foam tape. We can be adding these over our clear texture paste. We can be mixing them in with our texture paste to make new mixes. We can use these with, oh, I don't know. I'll stop and we'll show you that in a minute. Then we move on. So that one, by the way, waffling, Magpie Gold. Then we move on and we have got Candy Pink. That's a really cool rose pink in case it doesn't come through on screen. It looks a bit more coppery on screen here. So it might be better on your screen, but here it looks a bit coppery. Then we move on and we've got Wild Wisteria. How cool are these colours? Are you loving these? How cool. Then we move on and we have got Rose Gold. So a proper cool rose gold. And then lastly, we've got, and this one's gorgeous, this is Ocean Waves. Now, Ocean Waves is more like a greeny blue. It's not a bluey blue, it's a greeny blue. Possibly not, and I am actually eyeing this up for Christmas, but possibly not like your traditional Christmas green, more of a tealy greeny blue than or greeny green. That makes no sense, you have to forgive me. But it's a nice shade of green. So there are 6 brand new colours, 100 mils in each of them. I did have little colour swatches, but I've put them somewhere and I've lost them. So we'll have to see if Pete can find them. But there is, oh, Pete's found them. Thanks, Pete. So let's bring these in. Now, what I love about these is you don't have to just use them as one colour. If you want to start mixing them and making your own mixes, feel absolutely free to do so. Use them with your red liner tape to make borders for your cards. Use them with your foam tape to make dimensional elements. Use them with your self-adhesive sheets to die cut out of and to make some really cool panels. And then think about, once you've done this, what you're going to do over the top of them. Because just because you've got this really lovely shininess doesn't mean it has to stop there. Maybe, just maybe, you want to do this and you want to emboss it, or you want to die cut it, or you want to do any of your other elements to it. And then you want to bring in something like, oh, let's go for one that isn't dead. Let's use this end. Go for an alcohol marker and colour over the top of it. Maybe that's over an embossed panel. Maybe that's over a different area. It's just a way that you can go in and pick elements out and colour with them. Now, of course, something I've really been missing is a glue that we can use with flakes and glitters. So we have for you a brand new glue. This is our sticky stuff. So this one, trying to remember the millage for you, needs 30 mils. So 30 mils of sticky stuff is our brand new flake and glitter glue. So this one is designed that you're going to take it out, you're going to use it with an applicator to go over your stamps and stamp with it. You can dilute it down and paint with it. You could use this on acetate and then infill with flakes so that they shine through the acetate, because it's going to make these stay on all sort of non-porous surfaces, bits like that. To me, the game-changing bit with a product like this is being able to stamp with it and then add over the top your flakes and your glitters. It doesn't just have to be these flakes, it could be all sorts. Now I'm going to give you another little sneaky peek here. Let's bring in our first sample card. Get rid of the flake that's come off of me. Now have a look in that background. That is our newsprint stamp that's been stamped using our sticky stuff and then added on our flakes over the top of it. And that's all the peak you're going to get at that one just yet. So 6 new colours of these. That is the shiny element I was on about. 7th new item is the sticky stuff. Any questions on these, Peter, before we move on?
Alison's excited at a new glue.
I love a new glue.
As our glue ambassador.
Glue ambassador. She's on to another one.
She should have been notified, really.
She should have been. She should have been.
Sorry,
and now
Alison.
we need little posters and have Alison out there peddling that one as well as the other one. So now, she's got the 1 litre, 125, and now the new 30 ml of the different glue.
She's going to need a reinforced coat, isn't she?
Well, she was going to pimp a panda. I don't know if she said she was going to pimp a panda. Yeah. Did you not watch? Were you not paying attention?
I vaguely remember the panda.
When me and Dan were on the craft store, he was talking about this, and he was going to offer a horse and cart, but instead she opted to use her panda. So we could pimp the panda with the flakes. That would be cool. Not that your panda necessarily needs pimping, but it could be fun. Okay, so on to item number 2. Now, This is something you might have got a little sneaky of in the background of Pete's photo. So we're going to start off here with the products because we're going to do the demo, the cards shortly. Pete weren't listening. You don't listen to me. You don't listen at all. So
I listened to a bit.
we have for you a brand new kaleidoscope. Now Pete's going to dig out the original so I can show you the original while we're here. This is something that we know is going to be well and truly loved because of our first kaleidoscope die set is one of our most popular die sets. Now I'm lingering long so you can have a little look at this one because I want you to see all of the beautiful pieces on it. I'm also going to give you a glimpse. This was the original one. So where we go from the original, the circle, to our brand new Octagon one, you can see size-wise, we've gone quite a bit smaller. And this is intentional. We don't just want to double up on what we've already done. We want to bring out more items for you to use for more things. So maybe you're one of our lovely international customers who likes to make smaller cards. Maybe you're somebody who's a bit more postage conscious here in the UK. Whatever it may be, a slightly smaller size and brand new designs to go within it. So we've got our sort of lattice style coming through in here, kind of a Moroccan lattice actually. You've got the really cool swirls which match with the swirly corner. You've got these cool like stained glass flower windows. I love this one. I think we're going to do more of that styling shortly. This one, I don't even really know how to describe it. Like ornate ironwork. I love this one. It's probably the set I've used the most out of the whole panel. We've then got this beautiful floral panel. And then we move on to our two music designs. Now, of course, we've got the music notes and we've got the sort of writing. Why have I lost the words? What do they call that? It's gone.
The treble, what the
printed lines, sheet music. That's the bit I'm looking for. Sheet music. Honestly, it's been a long day. You've also got the matching treble clef corner, and then you've got a matching corner to go with that lovely sort of stained glass window style as well. So, of course, in this set, 21 dies, ridiculously 21 dies, giving you the innies and outies to all of your different pieces. Then you've got an octagon to build up on top of. Then you've got your four corners on top of that to match in with everything. I love these. There is so much we can do with this. It's ridiculous. I know so many of you collected the circle one. And of course, with the circle one, we had the matching stencil. So can anyone guess what product number 9 is going to be? It, of course, is the matching stencil to go with our kaleidoscope octagon. Now, these have different uses. Of course, we can use them as a stencil. Of course, we can use each of these triangles to go over the panels that we're going to cut with these outside edges and apply pastes, flakes, all of them different mediums through them and use them in that way. We can also emboss with these panels. So great little embossing pieces. So another use for them. The other party trick to this one is using this part of the stencil. This is where it all started with this stencil. Using this part of the stencil to actually be a guide. So once we've cut out all of these pieces, being able to come back and place them in between it and get them spot on so everything is shared out perfectly. And around the edge of the stencil, and I don't know how well you're going to see this, but there is a little etched line of the scallop that matches the scallop die which comes in the set. So you take that die, you lay it on here, you tape it in place, you flip it over, and then you lay in all of those pieces so that they all line up perfectly to make up your, I'm going to say pizza, because I always refer to these as pizza dies, but to make up your octagon kaleidoscope as such. Now, there are loads of different ways in which we can use this, and I'm going to bring the board in to just give you a few of them. You have got your plain octagon, you have got your pieces that you can stamp on, you could cut out pattern papers, we could stencil over the top of them, we could do all sorts with these. Doesn't have to be about the dies, doesn't have to be about the stencil. Then you've got the ability to leave the filigree pieces in place, whether this is in the octagon, maybe you're going to build up a little border on your project. I've already damaged the board, Pete. It's only been painted an hour. I've damaged it already. My goodness. Put it back together. So yeah, you could use those to make up backgrounds, borders, whatever you wish to. Of course, they fit in the outside edges. So you can cut those out. You can use these to make up one pizza all in one design, or maybe mix and match. Choice is yours. Then you've got your 4 coordinating corners. They're going to match into the 4 designs found within the pieces. I'm going to come back to prices, I promise. When I've stopped waffling and we take you through the next bit, we'll do prices shortly. So that's 9 new items. Now, The next one's going to come to us in a quick burst of 5. So let's wait for Pete to catch up and we will bring you in the next one. So let's have a little look through the comments because I don't like to miss out. It's the joy of being live is knowing what you're all saying and what you're all thinking. So what are we missing? You can make me a badge now. Oh, shiny, my panda is fine. It's called Xander the Panda. I like that. I always believe you should name cars. Not everyone does, do they? I love a name for a car. That's cool. Oh, Craft Bliss are with us. They like the hexagons. Would you like some more hexagons? Should we bring you some more hexagons? Give me a second.
I thought they were octagons.
Octagons? Oh, have I read the wrong one? I
don't know.
It's probably
Make
me.
me question what we've done.
It's probably me. They are octagons, aren't they? I can never tell. Do you know what? Genuinely, I can never tell the difference between hexagons and octagons. It's probably me reading it wrong.
Octopus.
I get used to the signs. What are you octopusing at?
Waving my arms because octopus got 8 legs in it.
Is
I
it?
remember.
Is that
remember
that
from
the
school.
way, is
One of
it?
a few bits I remember from school.
I didn't do school.
Oct.
You have to be there to be
Yeah, you
educated.
do.
Didn't work. Okay, so let's move on to the next new goodie, shall we? So we have got for you, you've already seen them, we have got for you brand new octagons in all 5 of these. Now, I'm not going to linger too long on these for you because I know you know these. I know you're all collecting them. We are seeing so many of these go out the door. It's ridiculous. We do these in squares, circles, ovals, rectangles, and now octagons. So our 5th shape in the family, bringing us to a grand total of 25 nested dies already and more yet to come. But these are the new 5 are octagons. Now, just quickly, we have got your fluted octagons. We have got your postage stamp octagons. We have got your plain octagons. Now, look how many you're getting in that set. Isn't that ridiculous? This is 24 dies, the most, I believe, we have put into any nested set of dies so far. We then have for you 24 in the pierced and scalloped and 23 in the stitched and decal. So a ridiculous number of dies in this set of 5. Now, if you haven't seen me chat about these, just quickly, the pierced and the decal have separate stitch and pierced lines. So these dies are not attached. If I bring this up really closely, your pierced is separate, your stitched is separate. And this means that you can use them not only in this set, but you can take them and you can put them through all of the others. So you can yo-yo between them. What I'd also like to think about and possibly show you is how you could put the oval in the middle. You could put the circle in the middle. You could put the square in the middle as a diamond. You could move these around between all of the different shapes and sizes to make some really cool frames with them. But they are your 5 brand new nested shapes that will now be available to collect. Now, we'll come back to prices with them shortly, and I will just quickly show you the boards because it's nice for you to see what I mean. So these are your deckled ones with your stitching. This is your postage. If I can get hold of the board, let's have a little look. Then we are moving on and we are looking at the fluted. Then we are moving on and we are looking at the pierced with the scallop. So that beautiful pierced detail running around each of those. And then we move on and we have got the plain ones. Now, look how deep this board is. Can you see the level of depth that's achieved here just by sticking one of each of those 24 together? How prominent that is. You've basically made 3D shapes just out of gluing all 24 together. And I really love that because maybe it's going to be a home decor that you're going to go into. These are going to work so well for you. Maybe you want to make your shaped cards. Maybe you want to make shaped albums. There's so many ways in which we can be using these. So, have we missed any comments in these? Samantha is saying that she loves the octagons. That is lovely to hear, Samantha. We're currently on holiday in Norfolk. Well, I hope you're having a nice time. Debbie Frost is with us. Good evening, Debbie. Matching stencil. Judith likes the look of that. Let's have a look if we've missed anyone on Craft List. So pleased you are. Filling the gap left by creative expressions, closing with your range of gilding flakes and flaking glitter glue. Absolutely, Craft List. You know, these are products that I've enjoyed using for many, many years. And I think all of us crafters have our favourite products that we need to go to. And you're very right, as different people close, because we are kind of seeing a lot of closes happening around the world at the moment, aren't we, in the craft industry? it's nice for us to be able to pick up those patterns and carry them on further, and absolutely bringing you things like flaking glitter glue or sticky stuff as we've called it, and Flakes is a true essential and ones that we've got to make sure are still available. We can't let that drop, can we? We need them. We've got to have them to craft with, so it's down to us to make sure that we're not missing anything. And with that kind of conversation in mind, I always tease you, but there's so many more things coming over the next few months with that in mind, because there's a lot of products that I personally miss. We need to make sure that they don't go far away. So yeah, loads of different bits coming. And that, I suppose, is another reason. And it is something we're conscious of. It's like today we're talking about 21 new products. That's a huge amount of products to bring out in one go. And we know that not everyone's going to be able to run to all of them or maybe even many of them. But we are desperately trying to build up our brand to make sure that next time you need Gilding Flakes, next time you need that flaking glitter glue, next time you need that double-sided tape, we've got you covered. You know where you can go to get that. And we're not slowing down on that anytime soon as we build up our library and make sure that we are hopefully going to become one day your go-to brand for everything. Give us time. Everyone's got to have a dream. M&S started on a market stall, didn't they? We're probably not far off from that. We'll get there.
We pretty much are.
We pretty much are the market stall, aren't we? Roll up, roll up. Okay, so moving on. In our collection of new goodies, I've lost count now, so we're just going to show you the items. We are bringing you a brand new rippled flower. Today we are bringing you the rippled star blooms. So this one is a one plate die that's going to cut 2 of each flower. So you don't have to send it through too many times. As it cuts, it is going to deboss details for you on each of those petals, giving you a really beautiful flower. Now, I know I'm giving you sneakies as to what's coming, but I can tell you now, you can turn this into a daffodil, you can turn this into a poinsettia, you can make this look like quite a modern flower, you can certainly use your flakes with it and highlight that sort of debossed element to it. There is loads we can do with this. You are going to get sick of seeing it because I've got so many cards to share with you. Then we move on to our lavish foliage. Now this again is 3 separate dies instead of one panel, but it's building our foliage library and bringing you some slightly larger pieces to play with and build out. I've fallen in love with this set so much. And as we've been making the kits as a family, everyone keeps saying to me, that's going to disappear quickly because it's so pretty, it's so beautiful. So keep an eye on this one. I think it might be a bit of a, what do they call it?
Grower?
No, dark horse. Dark horse of the collection, that's what I'm thinking. So here are our leaves cut, so you can see them. And these are quite a nice size. They're not small foliage this time, which is something that's quite important. And then if we move on, this is our lovely flower. So I'm trying to get it so you can see it. Never easy on a camera. But there is your deboss work coming through on each of those petals. Isn't that pretty? And then, of course, a little flower up here, just showing you how that's going to look. And this one, again, is a great one for shaping. So all of these products, because I've seen a couple of people just question, so just in case you missed it at the beginning, all of these products will be available on Highlight Crafts, which is the exclusive launch day on the 27th of March, and they will be on the show from 9 AM till 11 AM. They have exclusivity from Thursday right the way through till Monday. And then on Monday at 10 AM, they become available to our stockists all over the world. And also at 10 AM on Monday, we will be live on the craft store with this collection too. So Thursday for Highlight Crafts, Monday for everybody else. Okay? I will keep recapping that because I know you're going to question. I know people are joining us all the time. So then we move on and we have got, let's get rid of these Post-its for a second. We have got a very, oh, wrong camera.
I don't know.
Sorry, Pete. Zooming on you, just having a little itch of your nose there, sorry. So, okay, then we have our new collection, our new themed collection. Now, in our kaleidoscope, you see a little bit of a hint of this. There has to be more to go with it. Let's bring in some musical elements. We have a piano, we have a violin, we have a saxophone, and we have a guitar. All as separate individual dies for you to collect if you wish to, because we know that there are different instruments for different family members, different people we know. So instead of putting them all together in one set, you have the ability to come in and cherry pick the ones you would like. The guitar, for instance, is made up of 3 dies, giving you the ability to cut and colour it as you wish to, and then layer it. We then have the saxophone die set, which comes with a few musical notes and a treble clef too. Then we have our violin all in one, and then we have our piano. And the piano, the keys are done in 1 die, but you cut it in white, you cut it in black, you layer it back together. And then you have got the piano top giving you the outside edges are separate, and then the music notes as another die set, so like the filigree panel. So if you wish to cut it, and I gave you a little sneak of this one earlier, didn't I? Let's bring this card in. If you wish to cut the piano, the lid, out of like a self-adhesive sheet, do the music notes out of black, layer that onto the self-adhesive sheet, and then infill with glitters or flakes. That's the effect you're going to be able to achieve. So it just gives you more ability. Also means if you want to arc it so that you've got a proper open piano, really easy and achievable to do, and you've still then got a base plate to put below it. So maybe you want to open it and infill it with flowers. Maybe you want to build it up as a proper 3D. All of these things are available to do because we've given you more dies to the set. And then I think we're on to our last item, aren't we, Peter? Oh, I'll show you the boards just while Pete's getting that last item ready. So there is our piano. Here is our violin. Again, hopefully you can see the deboss work that we've done on these. So lots of detail on there. So if you want to rub inks over them, if you want to highlight them, absolutely brilliant to do. Then there's your saxophone, so that you've got all those details again on your saxophone. Peter, can I give you back those to put back on the right item? Sorry, thank you. And then we've got your guitar as well. So your guitar, again, broken up into 3 elements and all with deboss work on them. So again, great for highlighting with pens or adding more details to them. And then our last item, and then I promise I'm going to bamboozle you with samples. We had a collection earlier in the year, didn't we, that has genuinely been a flying success. We can't keep up with demand for our incredible Cuddly Clan. So what we wanted to do this time was bring you a brand new member to the clan. But of course, you've just seen that we've got music in our kaleidoscope. We've got musical instruments. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring you Ralph the Rocker. Which I absolutely love the name, so forgive me if I chuckle every time I say it. We've got, here is Ralph in all his glory, with his mic stand, his records, his guitar, his little speaker, subwoofer bit. I can't pretend I'm overly musical, forgive me please. Amp sounds better, doesn't it? I don't know. Then we've got Rockstar, Have a Great Day, You Rock, and Superstar, and a little like lightning bolty thing because it's on the front of his shirt, so you can build up a background with it if you wish to. So with these, if you've not seen the Cuddly Clan collection before, we give you the dies, all of the dies that you need to cut out all of the stamped images of the main focals as such, and then a few additions to your stamps to build up backgrounds as well. So this is our lovely Ralph. He is absolutely the star of today's show, and one of the reasons I've kind of left him to the end. Ralph, of course, has all of these dies in there to cut out, but he's also got those stamps to give you all of the beautiful detail. So I think we need to start showing you some samples because that completes our 21 new items. If you've not seen the Cuddly Clan before, I am just going to bring these in for you. We've got Deirdre, the Disco Diva. We have got Hazardous Henry. We have got Freddie, the Fisherman, and now Ralph, the Rocker. And I bring them all in at once because if you might choose to make a little band, why not? Deirdre, she's a bit of a rocker. We know she's a bit of a party animal. Her wing, perfect to add a guitar into. Maybe you want to put a saxophone coming out of her mouth. Your choice. These two, again, perfect for dressing up with different instruments. So you might want to make a little rock band, folk band, whatever the choice may be between them all. And this is something we really want to do. Although we're bringing out themed elements, we like the idea that you can mix and match between them. So I'm going to bring this card in. So we're using the Octagons. We've added in, I say we, this one's done by Ian. Ian has added in Ralph. He's brought in Deirdre. Deirdre's holding onto the little mic. How cute is that little Freddie Mercury mic? She's off, she is, Deirdre, under a disco ball, having a time of her life. Added in little Rockstar at the top there. We've got his guitar in his hand, his little amps down the bottom there. And Ralph and Deirdre are having a rocking good time. So let's have a little look. Where's more of Ralph? Let's start with Ralph. give you more of these. So Ralph, by the way, Ralph is $19.99. So I'll tell you prices now as we go back through them and I show you samples before I forget. So $19.99 for your DL stamp set and your matching dies all in one pack. All right. Craft Bliss, have you thought of doing a hedgehog in your Cuddly Clan? I'm going to be honest with you because I think honesty is always the best policy. I've got about 100 different animals and different themes I would like to do. And now it's just going to be a case of fitting them in with the different themed collections that we come up with and that we do. So yeah, there's lots coming with these. And I think this is A, they've been incredibly popular. B, just because they give me so much joy. I love working with them. They make me smile. And I so enjoy colouring them and creating with them that, yeah, absolutely. So a hedgehog is on the list. Is definitely on the list. That's all I'm going to say. But when and which collection the hedgehog will feature, I wouldn't like to guarantee just yet. So I'm going to flick through lots of these because there's hundreds to go through. Again, done by Ian. I love the little pierced ear with the little ring that is put through it. I'm guessing this is like a little jewellery split ring. Added little diamonds onto his glasses. Giving me Elton John vibes here. Love it. Very red, white and blue. Then we've got one here from Lynn where she's gone very vintage. We've got the Coming Soon, Have a Great Day Rockstar stamps. And these are, of course, with our Velvet Script alphabet. And then in the background, you've got the newsprint stamp. So again, bringing different collections together. This one is by Lynn. Lynn stamped the little lightning bolt. She's added in Ralph. She's put some glaze over his eye. She's added in some little stars. She added some little records in the top there again from the same set. I'm going to go quite quick because we've got loads of these to go through, but I promise I'll show you them time after time over the next couple of weeks, and you'll see all of these posted on the pages as well. But there is loads and loads of inspiration coming your way, even down to little dinky cards using the octagons, because although, you know, we can make the big cards, it's kind of nice to see the small ones as well. So yeah, this is a character and a collection that will hopefully come in for every size card you could want it to be. And then this is cool. Who's this one done by? Ian again. Ian's taken Ralph and he's taken him outside to the garage and he's brought in the spanner and the motorbike from previous collections, the spanner background, and built up this kind of cool mechanic rocker look. Proper little, I want to call him a biker chick. That's not the right one. Biker. Can I have a second part of that? Biker.
Do. Can't think what they are called though.
Like a Hell's Angel kind of thing.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
go with that.
Another one here, how cool is this one? I love the way that they put the circle in the middle of the octagon. I think that works really nicely. Really like the colours as well. Here's one just done by me, very quick and simple, just showing you the elements from the dies and stamp sets, bought in with that beautiful flower. So we'll move on and we'll show you some more samples. Next up, coming from our first instrument. So our next instrument, I think, is going to be the guitar, which is great because you get one guitar in with Ralph, but it gives you another guitar to have a little look at. So I'm going to pass these off. Oh, I am going to show you this as well. Let's take this out of the packet. This is done by Wendy. You've got to see this. Wait there. Who's Mark Bolan? Was he not a singer, Mark Bolan? I'm showing my lack of knowledge here. I'm sure Mark Bolan was a singer. Fran Art says, does he remind you of Mark Bolan? I never know. No,
we're uneducated. You lot are all far more intelligent than us.
But that is very, very true.
Yeah.
So here we bring in Wendy's scrapbook page. So again, she's gone for the velvet script across the top for the party time. She's used the corners from the kaleidoscope octagon. Then you've got the beer glass. The beer glass, of course, comes with the pub, doesn't it, from the last collection, the architecture collection. We've got music notes dotted throughout here and the treble clefs. We've also got the flakes being used around the frames and on the corners. And I love the way, I'm going to show you here on the frame, how Wendy's done a bit of a mix of colours so that you've got that sort of really cool glitzy effect going on. And I also like the way she's kept him all in white, giving me more of an Elvis vibe for some reason. So yeah, really play around with your colours that you're going to colour Ralph in with and the products you're going to use with him. So I'll pass this one back off to Pete. We'll have a little look at the next one. So this is our guitar samples. Noddy holder. No noddy holder. Have to know noddy holder, it's Christmas. So onto our guitar, again showing you the kaleidoscope background behind it, bringing in the flowers, bringing in the foliage. Another little cute one here using the guitars together. Bit of glitter being used on this one. This of course is the gemstones glitter being used over the top there. Some of our mirror card being brought in as well. Another cute little one. This one's cool. This one again done by Lynn. How diddy and cute is this one? So again, Superstar is one of the stamps being used around the edges. The dad is the velvet script, bringing in the guitar, or the guitar, and sort of dressing that one up. This one's cool as well. Again, done by Ian, bringing in several guitars, making a little display of them, like a little music shop, which is rather cool, with the U-Rock above them. Mixing and matching our musical instruments. So the saxophone, the violin, and the guitar coming in on that one. And this one again is really cool. This one's done by Wendy. So Wendy's made a little gap card. I don't know what the name is of these. Spacer card? I'm going to call it a spacer card. That's probably wrong. But she's trimmed the front. She's made a little gap. So we've got that little space. And then she's used the instruments to hold that gap open. I thought that was really, really cool. And very, very effective. So there's a few there with the guitar. Let's move on and show you some with the saxophone, shall we? So here is our saxophone coming in, again with the newsprint background behind it. The corners on the top and the bottom from the kaleidoscope set, the flower, the foliage, even the music notes. These little music notes, these are the waste which falls out of the section on that kaleidoscope. So every little bit that comes away can still be used. Flowers again, saxophone, corners being brought in on this one. Oh, this one's lovely. Who's this one? This one's Ian. So Ian's put the piano in gold and black. He's added in the violin and the saxophone, brought in the happy birthday and a couple of music notes around that one. Oh, this one's cool as well. Who's this one? Is this one Wendy? Honestly, we've just got the best design team, haven't we? This is Wendy. So Wendy has brought in our saxophone and put it into Ralph's hands. Now I love that because that's showing you the versatility of mixing and matching the instruments with Ralph, which I think is great. Then we move on to another little one here using the Flakes. Now these are cool. We're going to demo this at some stage on one of the shows somewhere. But this is taking the Flakes, putting them over a self-adhesive sheet, die cutting out of them, then using a stays-on ink pad to rub over the top. When you rub over the top, all the debossed bits are going to stay with the flakes coming through, and the bit where you put the black ink will just go to a metallic shiny black. I love that. Now this one's gorgeous. This is Lynn again. Look at this. So again, kaleidoscope background, the octagons coming in, layered between the different ones. So we've got the scallop, which is coming with the set, the fluted edge with the stitch. We've then got the corners brought in as well. We've got the flowers, we've got the saxophone, and we've got the happy birthday. All of that on top of this really cool panel. Now these panels are using the flakes and sprinkling them into the clear texture paste. How cool does that look? It's like an encapsulated glitter. Reminds me of bumper cars. You know, when you go to the fair and the bumper cars are all sparkly, how cool is that? And that's just mixing it into the clear texture paste. Then another little shaped one here where we've got two sections that have been cut into the card, so hopefully you can see them. Happy birthday, and then the triangles used as solids, and the saxophone added on the top. I just love being able to share with you such a variety of samples, all focusing around that saxophone. Then next up, we are moving on to the violin. So let's show you the violins. I really like this one. This is one of the first ones I did, and I used the violin, and I've used our grey ink. This is our elephant grey ink, and I've just rubbed the ink over the top of it, so that again we end up with that two-tone effect. I've done the same with the flowers and over the foliage, and these corners. How beautiful are these corners? These to me are going to come in time after time. I think they're my favourite corner. I really, really love that element. And it's so funny because it's like one of the smallest dies in one of the sets in with the kaleidoscope, but it just makes such a statement when used in all four corners. The violin again cut from a sheet that's been flaked, some of the flowers on there, some of the leaves. Now this is cute. If you are somebody who is postage aware, look at how dinky this is. This is like the smallest card I think I've ever seen. Let's give you a size because it's so cute. We need to know more, don't we? So this is using our Octagon, which is a whole 3.5 inches. Isn't that just like the cutest little card you've ever seen? And then it opens to make an easel. How clever is that, done by Lynn? With the little best wishes as a stopper, a couple of music notes on the front and in the background. And then you're going to notice the flakes being used to make a multicoloured sheet behind it. And then just the wisteria being used for the violin. I really love that. is such a cute little card. And sometimes we think when we do small cards, you know, there's not much to them. But look at how she's managed to add in so much detail, so many pieces. That's such an effective card, even on a small scale. I love it. Then we've got another one going on here, and another one. And oh, I can't quickly go past this. This one's done by Ian. Isn't that gorgeous? So again, we've got the violin brought in, we've got the flowers which are coming up, we've got the foliage. This is our previous foliage. This is the entwined leaves. Then we've got that corner. Oh, the corner. The corner in gold is gorgeous, isn't it? Especially set on black, a little pop of red, and then these beautiful flowers. Really, really spectacular. I love that card. And then just another one done by me where I've added in some flowers, the little violin, and some script that I've stamped with the sticky stuff and then added the flakes over the top. And then we're on to the piano. And I did want to sing that. I'm not going to sing it. There was something about the tone there, wasn't it? We could do that. That could be our little theme tune for this collection.
Could we?
The music
bob along.
No, we're not going to sing. So then we've got our piano brought in. Now, who's done this one? This one's Wendy, isn't it? Wendy's done really clever, twisted octagons to make up this triple stack. I like that. I thought that's very cool. I also like the way she's doubled on the flowers in different colours or different shades, added in the foliage and the little with love on the top. Very effective. Another one here that I've done, thinking of our smaller sort of cards, just an A6, making the piano the focal. Another one here done by Lynn, where Lynn's brought in that piano and made up her background. Very, very cute. And these are the music pieces, the sheet music that have been snipped out from the octagons to make up that background. So even those smaller pieces, trim them, build them. Now, I'm well impressed with this. This again is done by Wendy. Wendy has made a collapsible pillar side panel to stand her octagon up with. So she's made a pillar like we've done previously on different videos, but she's made it coming in the centre so that it holds that panel so that that card can completely stand. Isn't that cool? And then of course on the front, you've got the piano, you've got the leaves and the foliage, and the flowers even. A couple of musical notes and best wishes at the top of that. Another one here with lots of flowers. Which way round are we opening this one? I don't want to hold it. Oh, that's fine. Well, it could go many ways actually. We're going to go that way. So we've got the flowers, the violin, the piano, the music notes, and that little cheeky with love put on the side, which I thought was very, very cute. These flowers are looking rather wow. Look at them. This is vellum, coloured vellum with our metallic inks. Beautiful. I think that's Ian. Yeah, Ian's done that one. And then another little shaped one here, and I say little, it's slightly larger than the last one. I think this one is Lynn again. I believe it's Lynn. I'm going to go with Lynn, which has made another easel and made the piano the front of it, added in a happy anniversary on the top there, script stamp in the backgrounds, flowers on the edges, brought in with the foliage. Very, very lovely. Now, what are we on to next, Peter?
The flowers next.
Oh, bring us all of the flowers and the leaves and we'll do them at once.
Okay.
Because they're going to see all of these bits. Oh, we've stopped telling them prices. Give us some quick recap.
So the guitar is at $6.99, the recommended price. Saxophone is $6.99 as well. Violin at $5.99 and piano at $8.99.
Thank you. Very good, very good. And then flowers and
I
leaves.
stole your job.
No, you can have it. I don't mind.
It doesn't mean that, guys.
I don't actually at all. I love my job. Then we've got, how cool is this? So when I said earlier we could make daffodils out of this, Ian, very impressively, has done just that. Doesn't that look cool? Now this flower, when we look at this, and I'm so in love with this one, we've got plain flowers, we've got daffodils. How about a poinsettia? And if that doesn't look poinsettia enough, let's dig in further. Here we go. How about this one? Again, I think this one's Ian, where Ian's put the Merry Christmas in the middle, poinsettias around the edge, little corners. You can even see in the background there one of our foiled inkables. Something like that. One of those frames. Don't you pull faces? You're the one who has to keep me on track.
Alison's asked if I've got my pay rise yet.
No, you don't need pay.
I have to be paid to get a pay rise.
You don't need pay. He does it for love.
Do it for the love of it.
We do actually.
Yeah,
But that's a different story.
Yeah.
So lots of happy Easter cards coming in here, showing you that kind of daffodil-esqueness that's picked up from Ian's creation.
Of your descriptions. Esqueness.
Esqueness. Just simple ones, showing you more layered, more depth if you prefer. Look at this. This is beautiful. So again, I think this one's Ian as well. Foliage done out of vellum. Oh no, isn't this is our clouded in mystery. Look at these dipped elements in the Gilding Flakes. Then added in some leaves and little best wishes in the middle. And he's really stepped this one up as well. It's got quite a bit of depth going on there. I really like that to make that sort of tunneled in effect. And then added the flowers around the side. This one's cool as well. Cherry blossom-esque effect going on. We're going to get lots of esques now. And then this one. Who's this one? Oh, this is Lynn. So again, we've got our clouded in mystery around here. And each petal has been dipped into the Gilding Flakes using the sticky stuff glue. Isn't that gorgeous? Even around the edges here of her scallop, she's added the flakes. Isn't that luxury? Doesn't that look gorgeous? It reminds me of like a really posh hotel room. I don't know why, but it does. I just thought that was lovely. And then another one here showing you, oh, this must be Wendy, it is Wendy, with her twisted octagons again, and then building up the flowers and the foliage. And I love the way she's die cut the foliage out of the flakes as well as the flowers. I thought it was very impressive. How are we doing? Any more samples to share, Peter? What ones we got next? Let's take these ones out of the way. I'm conscious that we need to make something with you all. Showing you all of this inspiration. We need to make a few bits as well because we need to do a giveaway this evening. So let's hand those ones off to Pete and bring these ones in. So this, of course, is showing you inspiration from the kaleidoscope set. So this is flakes, two-tone flakes being placed over a self-adhesive sheet within the sections to the kaleidoscope. Flowers and foliage also being cut out of self-adhesive sheets covered in flakes. And then the background, the sticky stuff glue stamped with a script and then placing the flakes over them. Now I know this is a sizable die set. Now I feel that we've shown you lots of inspiration with corner elements, shown you lots of different bits. How about using those sections to make up some cool backgrounds as well? Doesn't just have to be the kaleidoscope set. And of course we can go a lot smaller with them if we use these as small panels and build up our backgrounds. So this one again, bought in, added on a self-adhesive sheet and then flaked over the top. You could blend the flakes if you want to do different colours. You could do this and then go in with an alcohol marker and pick out the different flowers and bits. There's loads we could do with this. We could, if we prefer, this one's been cut out as separate triangles. We could instead use the die and cut that in and then make it all one panel. But I like the slices between them to show the different pieces. So it's up to you how you want to go with that one. Now, we talk of Christmas once more. We spoke about poinsettias being made with the flowers. How about Christmas trees? I know, I need to get out more, don't I? But look at these. So this is using the stencil with the die set to emboss and make little Christmas trees. And then added on gems into all of the open spaces within the tree to make that little bit of bling. Drop shadowed gold triangles behind it. And then just to finish off, showing you some proper red and green poinsettias created with that brand new flower. Now this flower does have a lot of different versions to it, as I mentioned. One of my favourites is these. Now this is taking the flower and a pair of tweezers and working round the petal. So you end up with that rippled effect to each of the petals. I'm going to try and hold this still so you can see what I mean. But it just gives a complete different look. These panels, once again, just like the ones on the tree, they've all been embossed using the stencils over the sections. And I might show you how to do that at some stage. Another little one here showing you that sort of rippled effect on the flower and also showing you the texture paste being used over the stencil in the background. Another one here showing you those embossed panels with the swirly section and then some white flowers over the top. Again, showing you how we can take these sections off and make so many more items with them than just the pizza style. But of course, when we're talking about pizza, isn't that a beautiful effect? And whether you choose to put the sections together nice and close like this one, or leave gaps like the white and blue one, is of course completely up to you. Another one here bringing in the flakes to go behind the sections. And then this is cool. This one's done by Wendy. Wendy's used the texture paste on the top with the flakes. Corners, again, showing you all the different corners. And then when we open the little box, we've got the coolest easel card going on in here with a little double stack easel. Again, with all of the different panels being flaked. So self-adhesive sheet, flaking over the top of them, cutting them out, then putting them back together. Even the happy birthday down the front there has also been flaked to make a double stack easel. Loved that. Thought that was very, very cool. Pop that back in its little box. And then what have we got next? A couple more cards to share with you. So again, bringing in the musical pieces. This one's got to be Lynn, I reckon. Yeah, Lynn's done this one. Lots of colour, very vibrant. Bringing in the instruments, adding those on. Another one here done by Ian, doing some pink and blue with those beautiful flowers and the piano being added on the top there. Bit of mirror shining through from underneath each of the kaleidoscope panels. And then our last one here by Lynn, again showing you die cut elements out of the flakes, again being multicoloured. She's really lovely. And a little happy birthday in the middle of that one. Is there any more samples to share, or have we seen all of them, Peter?
I think we've seen them all.
I think we've seen them all of them. Now, this isn't long-term, all of them. This is just all of them that I'm sharing with you today. There are more that will be on the shows to give you even more inspiration, and we'll be sharing more of them in the coming weeks as well. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you could be creating with these 21 new products. Now, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. Apparently Barry doesn't get paid either.
No, I feel
it's the joy of the craft, isn't it? Joy of the craft. We do it for love.
Yeah. A quick, sorry to interrupt, quick shout out, Sharon. No, sadly your samples haven't arrived yet. So
not yet. Sharon's samples were one of the ones I was trying to tease. There will be more samples coming from me and Sharon. So bear with us on that one, which has been slightly let down by the postage system. But these things happen, and it's nice to have some more to share with you in the coming days. So yeah, lots of shows coming up with lots more inspiration to do. Fran says, how about shaker card with a kaleidoscope lights? Absolutely. I avoid shaker cards like the plague, because whenever I make them, they leak, and I'm convinced somebody's going to sue me for losing an eye. So I tend to avoid them. I do.
What do you put in your shaker cards?
Stones. Just no, genuinely, just anything. You shake a sequin at force, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
God, you're a pirate for life.
That's why I wear glasses.
Yeah. Safety goggles. Send them a shaker card and safety goggles. But I tend to avoid them, being honest with you. But yes, you absolutely could do. You could use just the triangle parts if you wanted. So these open ones to cut little windows into an octagon, and then have shakers behind it so you see those come through. Or you could use the filigree parts to cut into them. There's loads of ways you could do it, but absolutely, Fran, you are onto a great idea there if you're braver than I am. So I have a feeling that we need to do some demos to give you a bit more inspiration. So should we try and fit in a couple of demos? Now, before I begin demos, I want to give these away. You know us, we love to give away what we make. So tonight's question, finally, we're however long into this and I haven't yet asked you, tonight's question, if you would like to win what we make, is who is your favourite, I don't have a general term, so we're going to go with band, artist, singer. Are we looking at Adele, Queen, David Bowie? I don't know. You tell us. Whoever it is, pop a comment up and Pete will pick one winner to receive whatever we create this evening, and we'll post it out to you wherever you are in the world. So all you've got to do is tell us who your favourite person is. Whose albums do you buy? Who would you like to go and see in concert? Whoever that person is, tell us who it is, and that will get you entered into our question tonight. If you have any funny musical stories you would like to share with us, then they never go down as a problem. We love to have a little bit of a nosy gossip at what you've been up to and what you've been doing. So tell us any funny stories you've got as well. But just to enter, all we're really after is knowing who your favourite artist, band, singer, person is. Okay, should we get on with some demos? Let's go back to our overhead and find our first kit of the evening, shall we? Now, this is the card I thought we would have a little go at making. It's very quick and easy. I've done lots of prep in advance, but we are, of course, going to play around with a few pieces. I also always like to share with you how the die is cut, because I think that's very important. So we're going to reach in and we're going to find a piece of our Decadent Ivory cardstock, which is what we're going to be working with. And we're going to dig out, if I can find them here somewhere, our plates to do some die cutting with. So we're going to bring these in, and we're going to bring in the violin die. If I can remember, oh, I remember, I put them on the floor. Honestly, I'm so tidy, I forget what I've done with things. let's bring this one in. So we're going to bring in our violin, we're going to place that down onto our plate, we're going to add on the card over the top, and we're going to send this through. So these dies, once again, not only will they cut, they will deboss for us. And by that I mean they're going to add in lots of detail, which is really easy for us to go in and highlight, because these dies are all about giving you the ability to add more to them. Who have we got going on so far then? We need to know about all of the people. Kathleen asks, oh, he's gone again. Do you have to be super quick using the sticky stuff to stamp with? When we stamp with it, Kathleen, try and count to like 3 is usually the rule of thumb, and then remove your stamp. If you linger too long when you're actually pushing down on it, your stamp will stick to the card. We'll try and do it in a minute so I can show you more of what I mean. But once you've stamped it, you can then leave it for as long as you like before you put your flakes on. There's never a rush to do that part. It will stay fresh for quite a while, or sticky for quite a while. You're going to have to read out who these are all onto, because they're going too quickly for me to keep up, Pete.
That's a good mix.
Come on then, give us some insight. What are we talking? Who are we after?
Well, Linda says she's after James Martin, who's a chef. Apparently he's hot, that says to a lady of a certain age. I think she's gone a bit distracted.
I might be wrong here. Was it Linda, did you say?
Linda Lipscomb Pliggett.
Linda, we asked for singers, not chefs.
We did.
What's going on? We don't blame you though. If you do want to confess your crushes, feel free.
Martin.
Do you remember
He
James
looked to his eye.
Did he?
Well, not just one eye, both eyes.
He'd had one of my shaker cards.
He did have one of your shaker cards.
That's what happened there. He was a good-looking lad till he only had one eye. Okay, so we're going to come in with our squirrel red ink pad, and we're going to go over the top of our die cut. And this is just to highlight the texture that we've created. So straight in with the ink. You can do this with a brayer. If you're worried you're going to be too heavy-handed and you're going to kind of obliterate the deboss aspect, then a brayer here is your friend, because you can just go over the top of it with the brayer and it will just highlight the top. But as long as you're not too heavy-handed, an ink pad should work a treat. Now, ink pads do vary quite a lot, and this is something we don't often discuss, but with this technique, it's quite a good time to talk about it. Ink pads come made of different materials. So these ones are a felt base. They're very hard. So when we're gliding over the top, it will glide over the top and it's not going to go into any of the indentations. If you went onto one of our metallic inks, these ones are a foam. So when we push down on this, we can stick our finger right in it. When we do that over the top of a die cut, this is going to collapse or give in, and it's going to push into them holes more, and we're going to end up with more of this colour going through to the back of that than we would with one of these felt ink pads. So if you've tried this before with an ink pad and thought, well, actually, I can't get on with that technique, have a little look at what ink pad you're using and what the top of it is like. If you are using a metallic ink like this, then a brayer is your friend, because you can pick up that ink, you can roll it over the top. The brayer, again, is a hard surface, so it's just going to go over the top of the die cut and not go into the debossed areas. So experiment with our quick dry pigment inks. They're a felt pad. They're going to be a lot better for brushing over and highlighting that texture. So there is our lovely violin, nice and rustic. I quite like this. Nice to do, easy to do. Now, shall we do a flower while we've got our inks out? So this again is our beautiful flower, and we're going to do exactly the same with this. We're going to bring in our ink and we're just going to brush it over the top. And what we're going to find, and you know I've done loads of these, I love this effect. I was thinking I need to stop doing these debossed flowers because you're going to get sick of them, but I love them. And I keep coming up with different shapes and styles I want to be doing with them. And when this one came to me, I was like, actually, once we've got it, we can do so many different things with it, so many different styles. So I'm really pleased we've done this one, but I think I might have to give it a bit of a break for a while, because you are all going to be like, not another deboss one, but I love them. So this one, again, brushed over the top, deboss details in there to give us that two-tone effect. It's that two-tone that just gets me every time, because I just love that ability to have the back colour shining through. I think that's so classic and so cool. And you can do this with so many different things. It doesn't just have to be an ink pad with rub over the top. It can be all different manner of mediums. So onto our card blank then. So I'm going to use an ivory card blank, which I think I've just put a red fingerprint on, but that's fine. And we're going to go for 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches. we're going to bring in a white piece of card, and around the edges of the white piece of card, I've used the same squirrel red ink to just go around the edge and colour it. I've gotten a bit carried away with this one because we only need sort of 1/4 inch, but it's not the end of the world. Better to do too much than not enough. We're going to place that down, and then we're going to bring in our next panel. So with this one, we have used the Latin script stamp, and we've stamped this one using the elephant grey ink. And we're going to foam pad this on to that panel with some 1mm tape. Come on then, what other confessions have we had? Anybody else?
Apparently, see, this is me having the restaurant, see it. It was a typo, it's James Martin Chief, not James Martin Chef.
Okay, Linda, you're forgiven.
I'm very
There's
much
us
the rest.
getting,
Yeah, so I've
getting
been told
Linda
off.
into trouble.
Yeah, apologies
I
there.
don't know. We should have known it would be us.
Yeah, but a quick question from Angela. Angela Revel said she had a disaster today. Trying to die cut vellum. She has the same die cut machine you use. Any help would be good. So I don't know if it's the thickness. Was it the clouded and mystery you're using, Angela? Or is it just an issue with vellum?
Tell us more, Angela.
Tell us more.
Tell us everything. So here we have our little flower already created. Just several layers put in, and we're going to add that over the top. Now I've already gone ahead just for speed, and I've used my foliage and I've built that up, and we've just put that into this little corner bit. Now Angela's vellum, is it that it is going too through it? Is your embossed bits cutting? Is that your problem? Or did it not cut out? You're going to have to tell us a bit more, I think. Tell us everything, Angela. We're here to help.
I know the clouded one is thicker, isn't it? So
clouded is a lot thicker. It's 375 GSM, but I think Angela would have said clouded in mystery, not vellum. So with vellum, sometimes, like, if you've got deboss areas like this, these aren't... So when you look at a die, you've got your cut areas, which are a proper, I want to say blade, but then you tend to think they're sharp and they're going to hurt you. They're not. But they are basically the blade of the die. Then you've got your deboss areas. Now your deboss areas are more rounded, and they're not going to cut like the cut area does of your die. But if you're using a thin material, sometimes they can push through it because they are still prominent and prevalent, and they can push through it. So with vellum, sometimes you can end up with that damaging and cutting or ripping on deboss areas because it's not as crisp as you're going to get with a cut line. So it could be that Angela's struggling with. So yeah, just let us know and we will try and help you. What is the size of the kaleidoscope die? Linda would like to know. It is 7 inches by 7 inches? Yep. 7 inches by 7 inches, Linda. You could shrink that down slightly. I'm just going to bring the violin in here and we're going to stand that in the background there of our foliage display. You could shrink that down slightly. Pete will get us a card where we've not left a gap between the sections. So it's slightly smaller, and then we'll look at one where we've left the gap between the sections so you can see what size that is. And we'll have the die back so I can show Linda what part is 7 inches. Please, Pete. So here is our little finished card. Now I felt this was quite Christmassy, or certainly could be very Christmassy. And I feel this would probably be down to what wording you put on it. It could be very vintage, it could be very elegant, or if you wanted to add in a bit of sparkle or the right wording, it could be Christmas. And I think that's kind of a nice bit about this set. It could really come in for all different occasions. So for Linda's question, we have a little look at this one. So this one built and put the sections together, so no gap between them. The actual completed section of it is just shy of 5 inches. So literally like just over 4 3/4, but not quite 5. If we went for the deckled edge octagon, I've put it on, that is just slightly over 5 inches. So about 5 inches without a gap. If we go for the gap that is recommended with the stencil, and we bring this one in, then just going from edge to edge, we are about 5 1/4. And if we went for the scalloped panel that comes with it, we're just over 5 1/2. So when Pete says 7 inches, what bit are you measuring for 7 inches?
That's my...
Oh, Peter, Linda, we're telling you, porkies. So even if we turn this over...
I'm trying to get a hostage cam, you see. I'm trying to be dismissed.
You don't get out. You can't escape. So sorry, Linda, there's us leading you down the garden path. So yeah, if we actually measure the scallop die set, it is 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So again, if we just put these triangles back together quite close, I think we was about 5 inches, weren't we? So 5 to 5.5, depending on where you want to end with that. And even if you wanted to bring in the corners and make it quite a bit bigger, this whole setup is 6.5 inches. Obviously gone slightly rectangular for packaging, but you could see that a 6.5 inch card would be quite a nice card size to be putting this onto if you wanted to go a bit bigger. Okay, I hope that answers the question, but if it doesn't, let us know and we'll investigate further.
Angela's just replied. So she was trying to cut some intricate flowers using premium lilac vellum. It did not cut the petals cleanly. Put it through the machine twice.
Okay, so that might be a tip I could give you with this. Sometimes there isn't enough bite with your die to go through it and cut it out crisply. You might end up with like a fluffy edge to your die or to your die cut. So a little tip I tend to work with, which I'm sure everyone else does, and somebody's probably already told you in the comments while I'm waffling, but if you put your vellum above a piece of paper, or better yet, I tend to use copier paper and put my vellum inside it. So I'll literally wrap it round, put the vellum inside and then die cut it. That'll give it more body and it will tend to cut neater. The Pro Cut, which I think you said you're using the same machine as what I am, comes with a metal shim. If you're struggling still, give that a go. You might find you get a crisper cut by having this on top. It can just be sometimes that the vellum's a funny material, isn't it? And it's having that bite to get the die through it crisp. So yeah, sometimes adding more to it, whether that's a sheet of card between it or above it, or whether that's wrapping copier paper around it, or whether that's adding in a metal shim. One of those should work nicely for you. I'm going to be honest with you. Vellum isn't something I do a lot of. We've done Clouded in Mystery, which is like a really thick vellum, but we kind of class that more as a transparent card. I'm now chuckling
keep a straight face
because of you should see what I've got to look at over here in the little corner.
I don't know what you
just
mean.
Chuckling. Why are you chuckling over there, Peter? What's that about? What's
Did
the
you say
chuckle
you don't
about?
have any vellum, or you don't normally
I
play
said
with
I don't
vellum?
normally use vellum too
No.
much. No.
Grin reveals there might be something coming soon.
I know nothing. But I don't. It's not something I've used vellum previously. It's not something I use a lot of currently. But that could all be about to change.
Maybe
in
next
a
month.
couple of months.
Oh,
our timelines need to meet up.
They do.
At some point, there might
Maybe
be
it's
some vellum.
expected around
Maybe.
next month.
So we're going to give away the card that we've just created, if I can remember which one it was. It was this one. So we're going to give away the card we just made. If you haven't already, let us know in the comments who your favourite band, artist, musician is, and we'll pick somebody to win the cards that we make. I feel like we've been here forever and we're probably boring you all to tears.
They're probably all asleep.
So I've had a little look. We've only been going an hour and 15 and we was late, and I blame you. You should know how to use this setup better.
Apparently so.
As we both just stand here hitting buttons going, why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? It should work. We know what this is meant to do and it's not working. So yeah, so should we do another one before we leave you in peace? I think we could fit in at least one more. So we'll do another one. So we are going to use our lovely Ralph the Rocker because I just think he's too cute not to make an appearance this evening. So let's find a piece of card so we can stamp out Ralph. I'm bringing a stamp press, which we've got around here somewhere. And then let's go and find Ralph. So we'll bring in Ralph's set of stamps. So here we have our darling Ralph. So we're going to use the main focal point to Ralph to begin with. And we're going to bring that in, and we're going to bring in this offcut of card and place that into the stamp press. And we're going to anchor that down. And let's go for around about there, I think. And this again is a bit of a trick for you if you're looking at Ralph, and I'll give you a measurement actually of Ralph in a second. But if you look at Ralph and think, well, it's quite a big stamp, you don't have to use all of Ralph. Now, of course, we've got the matching die set to go in and cut him out if we wish to. But it doesn't mean we have to stick to using all of him in one go. So we can certainly just use pieces of him. There's our gorgeous Ralph. Isn't he gorgeous? I'm going to add in another little ink because I just feel he could be a bit crisper. I often double stamp, so we'll add in a bit more there and see what we've got. Oh, look at him. Isn't he cool? I just love him. I'm absolutely obsessed. I know I need to get out more. I apologise, but I think he's incredibly cute and very, very cool. When we bring in the die set, because it's nice for you to see what I mean here, this is your die set, part of it. That will fit perfectly over the top there. So you can send that through your machine and cut him out if you wish to. If you don't want to cut him out fully, then we certainly don't have to. And that's what we're going to do with this one. We're just going to use part of Ralph instead. So we'll take that out of the way for the second. We will bring in a guillotine and we'll have a little measure while we're at it. So Ralph, stamped on his own, is about 4.5 inches roughly. And if we go from his tail to his hand, by about 1/4 under 4, so about 3 3/4 inches. The card we're going to make, we are aiming for this to be about 3.5 by about 5 1/4. So let's start off by trimming off that bit. And then what did we say it was going to be? 3.5? I think it was 3.5. Right, it doesn't. And then we're going to go across there. See, look at that. Isn't that cool for a slimline card? You know, and this is what I love about this. Maybe we want to add in a bit more down the front here. Maybe we want the mic stand and the amps and maybe some instruments. But instead, we're going to take him down to his feet. We'll take that bit off and then we'll go, and I think, what did we say, 5.5? Something like that, won't it? That'll do. But isn't that nice to see that we can use him without the dies if we want to, and in a smaller format, slightly smaller than if we was to trim him out properly as such. Now, of course, with my one, I've gone in with some alcohol markers and I've just done some doodling. I say doodling because I colour like a 2-year-old. That's a bit dark, I feel. But I'll just show you quickly. We can just bring him to life by adding in some colour. So we'll do just one of his little quiffs there. Just so you can see a little bit of colouring happening. But colour him in however you wish to. I've got one I've already done. Nice and quick and easy. So that Ralph has come to life and he's ready to rock the day away. We would then use his guitar and exactly the same, stamp the guitar and then bring in the matching die. So of course you've got the die to go with that one. So the die again will, just like before, fit over the stamped image, can be sent through your machine to trim that out so you don't have to worry about fussy cutting that one through. And then we're going to go on to our A6 card and we're going to put down our first black layer. You haven't told me many musical people, Pete.
There's a lot of them.
Well, come on, give us a bit of a...
Robbie Williams has made a few
Robbie.
appearances.
I liked his Netflix documentary. I thought that was interesting.
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart, good choices, good choices.
Yeah. I've just got so many comments.
Has anybody said Dolly?
No Dolly.
No Dolly.
No Dolly.
Honestly. What about Cher?
No Cher.
No Cher, no Dolly. I think it's just me.
I think it's just you.
Kelly Clarkson?
No.
Oh dear. So I am. Band of one, and I. Your random musical tastes. Then we're going to bring in Rockstar, which again is one of the little stamps on the set. And we're going to bring in the guitar. And we're going to place that into Ralph's arms. So that Ralph looks like, and you can, of course, if you want to, just trim his hand so that you can put that over the front of it. Very nice and easy to do if you want, but we're just going to go for him holding his guitar in that hand there. And that completes demo number 2. How easy and quick is that? So maybe you're batch making these to sell, absolutely fine to do so. You know we have a great angel policy giving you the ability to make and sell as many as you want to. There's no problems there at all. We encourage it, in fact. We want you to be able to recoup your pennies from your investments or, of course, support a charity. So maybe this is for a charity. Great to make for charity too. So yeah, make and sell as many as you want to.
Sue's just got a question.
Hello, Sue.
Oh, Sue Lindsay. Hi, Sue. Which alcohol markers do you use? Will you be bringing us some?
Peter, you've got the tone again, haven't
Sorry?
you? You've got the tone.
I don't know.
Stop it. I'm going to tell him off now, you lot. Honestly, sits over there. His little face is going on and his little tone.
I could ball faces at him and it's quite funny.
truth, you know us, truth is always the best policy. Alcohol markers is something we would absolutely love to bring you guys. I wouldn't want to do them, I think I told you this a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't want to do them if they're not the best they can be. So we're trying desperately to source some really good quality ones. But equally, I don't want to be ridiculously expensive £5 a pen alcohol markers, because if there's a point in which if you're going to have a collection and you need a collection, that's a bit eye-watering. And there's brands that do that already and they do it very well. So I want us to bring you some really good quality, but yet at an affordable-ish price, because that's the important bit, is making sure they're achievable. So we are working really hard on that. I can be honest with you, we had some emails back and forth today about this. So it is something we are genuinely working on. We've been down about 3 different roads. They've ended a bit negatively, but we've got a new one that we're sort of following up on, and hopefully there might be something come forward. Now I'm talking months away, because of these have got to be tested, designed, colours made, shows, all of them sort of bits, and then got here. So we're not talking tomorrow, but they are something we're working on. You asked what brand I'm working with. I have genuinely a pot of random pens that I just pick out from, of all different brands. These ones are called touch markers. I tend to just buy cheap ones, to be honest, to a large extent, and then regret that I bought cheap ones. I have quite a lot of the Spectrum Noir ones, which I find very good. Other brands that I got, what's the brand? CE used to do a brand, didn't they? And we had loads of them. Not Nova. I had a lot of them, but they stopped doing them for some reason, and I can't think why. But there was a lot of that brand. They were like a round barrel.
I can't think.
More like a triangle barrel, actually. But there was another brand. But yeah, so I've got currently, honestly, just quite a mix that I've collected along the way. So yes, we would like to do some. That was the answer to the sort of biggest part of the question, I suppose. So yes, there is something that's coming on.
Charlene's just asking if you have any evening, Charlene, or is it morning for Charlene? She's in Canada, isn't she?
Charlene is, yes, Alberta, Canada.
Morning,
she mentioned
Charlene.
That earlier. Yes,
if you got any hints using the DL stamps, like the Floral Melody, just to get perfect connections from one stamp to the next stamp?
I do mine by eye. I do very much do mine by eye. And this comes as somebody who does everything by eye. I don't ever tend to measure much in life unless I've really got to. And then I try not to. You can measure it, so you match it up perfectly. I'm trying to see if I've got one in my little folder. I haven't. I'm going to dig into another drawer, because if I've got one, we'll have a little play. I don't think I've got one. I think they're downstairs, Pete. Do you want to go and have a little dig for me? Oh, here we go. Wait there. Slow down. I'm digging. Here, I have got poinsettia one, which Pete will tell us the name of this in a minute.
Poinsettia Melody.
Poinsettia Melody. Oh, look at you go. I'm impressed. He's even got one in a packet.
Yeah.
So we'll play with this one, but they both work in very similar ways.
Kim, you're being very naughty.
What's Kim encouraging you to do now?
Well, she was having a chocolate stout earlier, actually. That reminds me.
Is that a drink or something?
Never tried one. It's something you drink.
Is it? Okay.
She says some demonstrators have 2 cameras. So she wants to see. What does she say? I think you need to get focused on Pete so we can see his expressions live.
No.
I really don't think anyone needs to see me live.
He gives away far too much, Kim.
I do.
Honestly, you guys think I'm bad. Afterwards, after we do a live, the DT will text me and they're like, well, you didn't tell them too much tonight. You two did good. It's never me. I'm quite innocent, I feel. It's Pete. He sits over there and tells the world everything. Honestly. You don't know what I have to put up with. Are we believing this for a second? So we're going to bring in our stamp and we're going to use our metallic ink for this one. This is the Sea Breeze Blue. And we're going to go over the top of the stamp and we just need to get a first one out so we can then match it. So ink that beautiful stamp up, making sure we've got all the areas, and we're going to stamp it down. I'd like to see this one done with the sticky stuff as well. Maybe we'll do that afterwards. So, how are we doing? Oh, that's not too bad. Missed this bit. I never managed to stamp anything in one go. I never do. So we'll stamp again. Any other musical confessions? Does anyone give us any embarrassing or confess their embarrassing loves? Not that I know what you'd class as an embarrassing musical love, to be honest. But some people are a bit like, oh, whoever.
What does Samantha? She said probably when probably still Barry Manilow. She's been a fan since childhood. And she sang on stage with him at Wembley Arena in the 1990s.
Oh, that's a lovely memory.
Quite cool, isn't it?
That is a lovely memory. So, Charlene, here we are. We can see that our stamp is coming across there. And we can see, and I haven't actually done this very well, but we can see on this side, I doubt you're going to see this. These are tiny little numbers. It's at 23.5. So we can literally, and as I say, I don't tend to do this, but we can then move that down to 23.5. If I can see it, there we are. And now we know when we stamp again that that should match up and join to that point. I genuinely don't tend to be this organised. I normally would wipe my stamp clean, just roughly, lay it where I want it to be, and then pick it up again. But we'll do it this way. We'll do what we should do, not what I do, and we'll ink up again and we'll re-stamp. So that's just measuring. Now, if you don't have a measuring guide down this side here, do not fear, because not all stamp presses have that. So maybe you just want to put a piece of low-tack tape there to mark where you've gone to instead. That would work just as good. Or maybe you could do a little pencil mark, or I'm quite bad because I know I can usually get it off. So I will do quite a lot of markings with an alcohol marker or a Sharpie, because of inexpensive hairspray tends to take it away. So I would quite happily, and I'm never too precious about things. So if I was to have a little black mark on here, I wouldn't overly worry about it. But you could do a little black mark on there and then test it. You could even with your lid, if this is a stamp that you're going to use lots, or you don't mind having a few markings, you could again mark out where you want it to be on here. So every time you apply your stamp, you know it's going to be in that place. This one's great. It's got the big Lisa Horton logo. So we could put the stamp on the top to that top line if we wanted, or line it to the bottom line and know that that's where we're going to put it every time. So that, you know, and then that way you could do your marks down the side to match up with it, if that helps. Now, you don't, of course, have to use a stamp press. I quite like, and I'll show you these as well. Get that bit done. That's better. I quite like these ones. These ones are ones with little feet on them, little foamy feet, and then you can bring it over and you can eyeball it and then just push down wherever you want it to be. And when you push down the stamp, then does it in that area. As you see, I always end up stamping everything 3 times because that's just me. So it's usually better I'm in a press when I'm live. But if I'm on my own and I know that I'm going to cover up what I've done, or can cover an area if it's not perfect, then I tend to use the push down ones. But I don't know, you might see it, I can't see it. Can you see a join? I love these stamps for this because I'm really looking at that and I can't see where we've joined it. Or maybe there. Maybe just in the middle of that holly. I can see a little mark. That might be me being a bit overzealous with the ink because I can't see it anywhere else. Or that might be where the join is. Neither here nor there. Doesn't really matter, does it? It'd hide that. So that's one way. Stamp it, measure it, go for it in that format, or go by eye. But hopefully that helped. And then, of course, you can just move it from there out to wherever you need it to be. So let's do a very quick play with some Gilding Flakes and this stamp using our sticky stuff, because I can't remember the name, apologies, but somebody asked about the sticky stuff, didn't they? So let's play with this. So I'm going to bring in one of our blended mats that I'm designating just for the sticky stuff. I'm going to squidge out the sticky stuff onto the mat. I've used a foam tool that I've kept just this foam just for my sticky stuff. And then I'm going to pick that up, make a little pile of it, and we're going to go over the top of the stamp. Now, I haven't cleaned the metallic off of this. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but usually I would start with a clean stamp. And we're going to go all the way over the top of the stamp, making sure that we are nice and covered. Now, I remember the other thing I was going to ask you for, Pete, before we began. I was going to ask you to get me a little tray or a little box to work in, like the one I was working in doing the kits earlier, so I didn't put flakes everywhere. And then I totally forgot to ask you. So don't panic. If you see one around, we'll have it. But if you don't worry. So with this, we're going to go down and we're going to try and do this relatively quickly. We're going to give it a good push, and we're going to sort of in our head count up to about 3, and then we're going to pull away. Now, this is tricky because I have got blue ink on the stamps. That isn't going to help here. This glue, let's do it this way. This glue, when it goes on black card, will look blue. That's a really good indicator because it means that the glue is wet. When the glue dries, it will go clear. It's a good idea to let your glue settle before we add too much onto it, or we can add on top of it, and I'll show you why. Thanks, Pete. That was very well done. Look at this little nifty box.
It's going to keep me,
If
isn't
we
it?
planned this, well, I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe.
Alison's asked if we buy presents for each other for our birthdays.
Oh, I have
Well,
hinted,
that'll be
Alison.
a test, won't it, on Friday?
I have hinted at something I would like.
You got your present the other day.
I did. I did. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you.
So excited.
I'm going to tell you. So excited. I
I
nearly
can't
didn't
remember who
sleep.
recommended it to you now.
On a live that we did a long time ago, one of the very first lives I did, when we got the new setup and we were JRC as such, I was waffling on as I do, you know me. And I started talking about my Hoover. I had a Dyson. And this Dyson was like as old as the Ark. And every time I used it, oh, the worst story, I'll tell you this one. Pete's parents were coming around to stay. Pete's parents, I love my in-laws, they come to stay quite often. And they were coming around to stay and I was desperately trying to, you know, as you do, run around the house and tidy up. And I was running around the house tidying up and we've got a big staircase. And I'd hoovered this whole staircase top to bottom. And I'd gone through the whole house hoovering. And it wasn't really the rest of the house, but I'd had enough of hoovering by now. Got all the way to the top floor because we've got 3 floors, so small but tall. Gone all the way to the top and hoovered and thought, brilliant, all done. Wrapped the wire round the hoover. That was done. Took the step at the top of the stairs and I called it the Lego hoover. Did as it always did and fell into a million pieces. Being a Dyson, it was one of those, it clicked the drum off the front bit and then you've got the different buttons to push to unlock the different sections. Oh, no, no, no. As it fell from the top of the stairs to the bottom of the stairs, it fireworked. And every single thing I'd hoovered went all over the stairs. And it was around then, Pete's chuckling in the corner here. It was around then,
yeah.
Pete come home and I said to him, that's it. We get a new hoover or one of us moves out. It took a few weeks in fairness because Pete doesn't often listen to my sort of moans. But that was the moment where I wasn't happy. So we have had to buy a new hoover because it just fell into millions of pieces. So yeah, a new hoover was ordered and I genuinely couldn't sleep with excitement. That's how sad it gets. But we ordered a shark. And I'm not going to sing to you because I spent the whole day when we knew it was arriving.
He did.
Singing to Pete every time I see a delivery van about sharks.
Should we get them all singing it?
Like a toddler's song about sharks. It's that sad.
Come on, they're all going to be doing it.
So the reason we wait for it to go slightly dry, or so it goes clear, is because if it's too wet, and this might do it over this side, it might even be dry while I've been waffling about hoovers, but if it's wet and we go to burnish it, we can easily stretch it and we end up with marks. But here we can see that actually that's nice and crisp and we can take our flakes away. And we've got the beautiful stamped image. There we go. Look how gorgeous that is. So this is why, if you've not seen it before, this is why you need the sticky stuff. How gorgeous is that? Just by taking our stamp, stamping it with the sticky stuff and adding over the flakes. And I used the vintage chrome for this one, which actually I really, really like because that's really crisp and beautiful, isn't it? Now I need to give that a little bit of a brush off to get the extra bits off. That's rather impressive. Now again with this, you might choose to let that settle. And then, I don't know if I've got any up here in a nice red. Go back to my alcohol markers. I don't think, I've got a pink. That might do it. We might choose to go in and think, well, actually, that's a poinsettia. So we're going to go, oh, I think I'm a bit impatient. Go over that with the red and then add in the greens over the top of it and colour these areas. Because we could do that. There's no reason why we can't. So you might want to add more to it if you wish to, or leave it as it is. But either way, I think that's really, really pretty. You imagine painting that in with some watercolours, some iridescent watercolours, and having that lovely flaked outline to it. Beautiful. So yeah, a few ideas there with that one. How are we doing for time, Pete? Have we still got anybody with us? Have they all left yet? Are we on our own?
Still a lot there.
Should we do one more then? Have we got time for one more, you guys? Or have you had enough?
Would you like to see another demo?
I was thinking we should play
question.
with the flakes and bring in that kaleidoscope because we haven't done that yet, have we? So should we do this demo before we leave you in peace? Let us know in the comments. Has anybody else give us any other musical confessions?
No, but Alison has typed baby shark do 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 do, then put ha ha. So
Ha ha.
like
Just ha ha.
she'll be zipping around in a
Like
Xander
that.
panda singing
Xander
baby
pants.
shark.
Maybe that could be our song. Going back to being more sensible. Angela, the little sponge I was using was a creative expression sponge. They're just little applicator sponges. I believe other companies do them as well. But they're just little great sponges because they don't stick to gluey bits. So whether you're working with a self-adhesive sheet or whether you're working with the sticky stuff, they will glide over the top and not stick to it, but they will burnish down your flakes and make sure they do, which is the important bit. Oh, I can see
yes,
a few
please.
yeses. I can see a few yeses. Okay, this is the last one, and then we're going to leave you in peace because you're going to be sick of us. So let me just dig into my little envelope of goodies, see what I can find. So yes, that shark, very cool Hoover. I'm sure, like, I know when we spoke about it on the live that we did, everyone was like, oh, you need to get a shark, you need to get a shark. And I was like, never heard of these, never heard of these at all. And then since it's arrived, like all the family, like, oh, sharks, yes, they've been around for years. Never heard of them. But it is rather cool. It even, and I know I'm showing my like lack of technological knowledge now, and possibly just advertising for shark, but it even, and I don't know if you know this, because of, you know,
I've not been allowed to use it yet.
haven't actually let Pete get a look in with the Hoover. It tells you what floor it's on. It detects, it self-detects what floor you're on. So like when we go from the hallway with a carpet into the kitchen, go and changes.
What was that?
And it changes and it goes to doing the hard floors instead.
Oh.
Or like whatever that is. Yeah, it's hard floor, isn't it? Yeah.
Like laminate style.
Yeah. And if you go over a rug, it makes a different noise. If you've got like a really shaggy piled rug, it doesn't like that one. It goes red and goes and stops.
Does it?
Yeah. You can do about an inch before it goes and stops. But that's the only thing I've found so far that isn't good for. I love it. I need to get out more. Okay, so back to the card. You don't want to hear my random Hoover things, do you? So this is the one that we're going to do. I've done a bit of cheating for speed, and I've gone ahead and we'll give you a size of the card blank so you know roughly what we're aiming at. We are looking at a 7-inch card. We're going to bring in a piece of mirror card, which is actually a bit smaller, so we've got a bit of a wider frame to this, which is 6 1/4 inches. We're going to use some of our glue, some of our clear dry glue. It's going to get confusing now, isn't it? We've got 2 glues, but this is our proper glue. Clear drying, and we're going to add this one down, not the sticky stuff.
As endorsed by Alison.
As endorsed by Alison, yes.
And
absolutely.
many others.
Yeah. Alison's Xander Panda antics. And then we're going to bring in...
Sharon says, how does it go, Jamie?
It does.
Someone's going to make a mix of all your sound effects, I think.
I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't. And then on here, we've used the little treble clef music note corners, and I've just put them die cut in white on a white square. I really like doing white on white when it comes to die cuts because it kind of looks like I've embossed it. So it looks like we've used an embossing folder for this, but we haven't just used the die cuts. I think that's rather cool. Then we're going to bring in our Octagon die. So I am doing this quite quickly because you've seen some of this and you don't want to watch all of it. But we've brought in the Octagon die and we're going to bring in some of our panels. So let's see if I can find one over here because there isn't one in this kit. Here we go. We'll bring this one in. Oh, we're going to use this one. I love this. So this is our kind of like stained glass window-esque panel. For this panel, what I've done is I've taken a self-adhesive sheet and I've put it onto a piece of white card and I've then die cut my triangle out of it. So this is now sticky and ready to take some flakes. We're then going to bring in the panel and we're going to place this over the top there so that it matches up perfectly with the triangle below it. If you wish to use the lid part, you can come back in and give it a good squidge, but it should quite easily just bond itself onto the self-adhesiveness. We're then going to bring back in our tray And as we've got, should we? Oh, we're not going to use it. Oh, should we do a mix? Let's do a mix. Let's bring in. Oh, should we go gold? Or should we go purple? That's different to what we've done here. So we'll go gold and purple. Oh, these are the ones that are sealed, aren't they? Let's go back to these ones. Surrounded by pots of flakes. Let's go for these ones. And we might end up with a bit of the silver in it as well. Not the end of the world. So a little bit of gold. We're going to just put that out over the top. And the gold is magpie gold. And then we're going to bring in some of the purple, which is wild wisteria.
Kim wants you to come round and do a hoovering for her.
Do you know, my shark was so good that when I was hoovering, I was thinking I could go and knock on people's doors and ask to hoover their house for them.
You could be the new shake and
Because it made such a difference to our carpets, didn't it? It really did. Our carpets were a bit old and tired, and it made such a difference to them. I was genuinely well impressed. So we're going to burnish that down. I thought maybe I could go door to door with a hooverer. And then I thought somebody probably does that already, but I think they wash them, don't they?
Are you trying to be the new rug doctor?
Oh.
But you're going
Does
to
he
be
not wash, though?
He washes. You could...
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that bit.
You just do the
not in it for the washing.
Wash.
I'm just here for the hoover. I'd like that.
Maybe tea and cake while you're there.
I don't mind what I'm paid. I think I'd just like to be nosy. I've always said I'd like to be an estate agent because I'd like to kind of have a wander around people's houses and have a little nose. Maybe I'm never going to be an estate agent because that's far too much paperwork and far too
do a version of through the keyhole, couldn't you?
So maybe I can just go and do that instead.
Snoop.
I would. Maybe I should be a burglar. No, absolutely not.
Be a new Lloyd Grossman.
Lloyd Grossman.
Who lives?
Who did that next? Wasn't it the man with the thing on his hand? I can't remember. The one you liked and I don't.
Thing on his hand.
Keith Lemon.
Oh, Keith Lemon.
I think he did it next.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
I believe so.
Nothing beats a bit of Lloyd.
No, absolutely. So we're going to do a bigger sheet just so you can see this, and we're going to cut some flowers out of it. So on with the gold again, on with the lilac. Not too worried if we mix these up in the pots, not the end of the world. Back into burnishing down. This is giving me Cadbury cream egg vibes.
Oh. Judy reckons that you need a shark carpet cleaner.
Oh,
theirs is amazing.
Do they do one of them as well?
Apparently so.
Julie's trying to set me up so I can go door to door.
You'd be like Alison with your coat. Open it up and out come the hoovers.
Me, Alison, in the Xander Panda with the sharks.
Can you imagine?
She can pedal the glue and I'll do the carpet.
Pedal?
What about Alison? We do rope her into some things. Okay, so there's our background mix. I love doing these mixes. I think they're really fun. Really, really cool. Should we do some die cutting from this just so we can see what that's going to look like as well? So we'll bring in some plates again. I don't think this panel's quite big enough for the whole die, but that doesn't matter. We'll use part of it. What are you chuckling at now?
I can't. Well, I can read it. It's clean. Linda says, Jamie, you're far too nice to be an estate agent.
Oh.
She then says most of them are, it's polite, a-holes.
Okay.
My son included.
Oh.
Linda, that's a bit...
There is no judgment.
That was clean.
Was clean.
That was clean.
Like
I'd love to be an estate agent.
I'd just like to be nosy.
Yeah.
I even quite like a little look on like Zoopla and Rightmove. I love a little nose around Rightmove, and I'm always on there.
Especially them videos now.
Yeah.
When?
So all cut for us. So even though we're cutting through the self-adhesive sheet, the Gilding Flakes and the cardstock, which is 300 GSM, we've still got beautiful clean cuts. That's the word I'm trying to say. Let's bring this out, shall we? Now, of course, there are pokey holes on the reverse, but of course, I'm trying to get to the one here, which we've gone off the edge with, which is fine. But it shows you how beautiful that deboss is, even when we're working over the top of this. Now, should we go off on a different tangent, one that I wasn't actually going to do, but we will. We'll bring in this big one. We'll take all them out later, just so we're not holding you all up, because I'm very conscious, probably been going on forever. We'll bring in a stays on ink pad. And we'll go over the top here. So all we're going to do, and you might want to do a couple of layers, you might want to give it a bit of a push. My Stays On looks like it could do with a bit of a refill, but actually I think this is kind of cool. We'll go over the top of these and try and dull down that sparkle a little bit on them ones. And we'll just do one side so you can kind of see the before and after. Oh, let's get that the right way. So that black ink, oh, come back. That black ink will sit over the top, still take on the metallicness, but it gives us that in-grooved line. How cool is that? I think that's lovely. Now, Stays On comes in lots of different colours. So if you're thinking of Christmas, maybe doing these in gold and then doing the red over the top. Maybe doing the gold and silver and putting the red over the top. Maybe we're going to go for this one, that beautiful copper, which is the rose gold colour, and do the green over the top. I don't know. Just play. Don't be limited to one colour is what I'm trying to say. Now, the last thing we need to find is the stencil. I had the stencil, didn't I? Where did I put the stencil to go with this set, Peter? That's your mission. The open stencil. You find that and I'll play with some flowers. So we've brought in our flowers, we've done our flakes over the top of these and we've built them up. You're going to have to give me another one. Don't just stand there and waft your arms at me. I don't know where I've put it.
Wow, I'm magically
Come on, give us a new one, please. I just want the Xy bit of it. That bit, please. I don't know where I've got that. I've well lost it. I've got no idea.
I feel like
Peter
I've lost the other one as well.
Oh, Peter, don't do this to us. Go get the other one from the next friend then. Oh, that'll do. I don't know. There's me trying to be quick for time and conscious that they're all asleep. And then we go and lose bits.
Sandra's just had amazing desserts.
Oh, what you had, Sandra?
Mm.
Oh, what's with the Mystic Megal?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just thinking desserts and chocolate cake or something.
Thanks, Pete. So if we bring in our scalloped octagon, we can match that up with the scallop that is running around the edge here of our stencil. We can then anchor that down with some tape so that we know we're in the right place. We can flip this over and we can bring in these ones which we've already flaked and are ready to go onto our panel. Then we find the middle parts and we place them within them. Now I've chose to pad mine. You could do them flat if you prefer. It will take a bit of a wiggle to get the stencil off over the top, but you know what, that's fine. It's a great guide to be able to make sure that we're in the right places with our triangles. Have you picked your winner yet?
I have.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. Marquita was asking a bit earlier if we could just recap on the prices.
Oh, of course we can. Absolutely. There's us off on our daftness, and we're not really working, are we? We never do.
We need to prove it more professional, don't we?
Oh, I don't. Oh.
Do we?
No, that panic was, I think I just, that was, oh my gosh, I've just made that purple and gold. I thought I'd got the wrong one. So that ain't going to work, is it? But no, we're right. We've got one over here. Do we need to be more professional? Yes, probably. Yeah.
We are what we are, aren't we?
Are we going to pull that off? Are we going to be able to do that more profesh? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
No. I bet Mr. Marks and Spencer's on his market stall is more professional. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's take this away over the top. Now we've got a bit of wiggle with these because they're on foam tape. If we glued them in flat, they're actually kind of easier to remove because at the moment we're going to get caught on the depth. But when we take the stencil away, we are perfectly spaced within our octagon and ready to build up. And that is the brilliance of the idea of the stencil. Now, I don't know if I've said this tonight, it was our lovely Lynn on the design team that suggested with our last one of our kaleidoscope shape that we did a stencil to line it up. And I still think that's an absolutely game-changing idea that makes lining these up so much easier. And you know then that everything is equally spaced and in the right place so that you've got that professional finish with what you're creating. Place that down on our card and we're going to bring in some flowers and some foliage. I love our design team, I genuinely do. They're so cool. They come up with great product ideas, they come up with great inspiration, they make the most incredible cards, and it's genuinely a pleasure to be able to share them all with you. It is genuinely, isn't it?
No, it is.
who get to bring you
Thank
some
you.
fun ideas, and they think of things that I would never think of in a million years. And that is what it's all about, because it just brings more inspiration to all of you lot as well as us. And that's really important. It's got to be the most important part of our job, really, is making sure that every time we bring you a collection, there's some new, fresh ideas to go with it. So off of the top of the foam pads here, just so we can anchor down our leaves. What are these ones called again, Pete?
Lavish foliage.
Oh, that's the ones, lavish foliage. Then we're going to place these around here. And then we're going to bring in our lovely large flowers, which are called, I'm spot testing you now, Pete.
Rippled star blooms.
That's the ones.
You're proper testing me, aren't you?
And we're going to add that second one on. So we're kind of going through the sizes. I've got another size here, but we're going to leave that off. And we're going to bring in just a small one. And we're going to place that up there on the foliage, anchoring that part down. And then around here somewhere, we have a saxophone. The saxophone has just been done in the silver. We're going to bring that in, plop that into the middle of our flowers. And that is demo number 3. So we've done this one, our lovely rocker, and we started off with our violin and our flowers and foliage once again. So quick recap of the flowers then, Peaks. Have just spotted the time and they are all going to be asleep. So let's run through some prices quickly and give them some knowledge of those bits. So once again, if you've missed this throughout the live, these products will be launched on Thursday the 27th of March on Highlight Crafts at 9 AM. We're there for 2 hours. We'll bring you lots of demos, lots of inspiration. And then at 1 o'clock, we're back with another look at the architecture collection that has proved so popular. And do you know what? I can't wait to use the flaking glitter gluey stuff, the sticky stuff, with something like the church. You've seen it with the newsprint, but you imagine that church stamped and flaked. I think I'm going to have to do something along them lines before the shows if I get a chance. Then on Monday, being the 31st of March, that is our stockist launch day. So all of the products we're bringing you now will be available from our stockists around the world. We'll also, on the same day, be live on the craft store at 10 AM with this collection. And we'll be back at 2 PM with something different, maybe, if all goes to plan. We'll have to see. If not, that will come up shortly, I'm sure. But at 2 PM, we'll be back with another show. So let's do some run through some pricing. We need the octagons as well, please, Peter. Our first one is the kaleidoscope octagon. This one, is that right? $21.99.
Mm-hmm.
$21.99. That's a bargain. There's $21 in there. I like the little cheeky nod. $21.99. That's good. I like that. Then we have got Ralph the Rocker, which gives you the stamps and the dies. That one is $19.99. Then we have got the Rippled Star Blooms. This one is $13.99. Then we have got the Lavish Foliage. That's good as well. $12.99. 3 dies in that one. $12.99. Then we have got the Piano. $8.99. 3 dies in this one. Then we've got the violin. Oh, that's good. Violin. $5.99. I like this. Then we've got the saxophone. $6.99. In here, 4 dies, 3 musical bits, and your saxophone. And then we've got your guitar. I was going to do the treble clef bit again, and I thought they'd probably order that. 3 dies in the guitar, and that one's $6.99 as well. Then we move on to our plain rectangles. No, plain octagons. That one's $27.99. Then we have got our fluted octagons, $22.99. We have got our postage octagons, $22.99. We have got our scalloped, edged and pierced octagons, $27.99. And then we've got our decal, edged and stitched octagons, and that one is $27.99. And then we have got our Gilding Flakes. Oh, the fear in Pete's eyes. The
Where's he going?
Where's he going next? The Gilding Flakes, there are 6 colours in these, and these ones are $6.99 a pot. And there are 6 colours if I can dig them out. We have got the Ocean Waves, the Vintage Chrome. I'll show them to you that way so you can see them. The Wild Wisteria. Then we have got the Gold, which I forgot the name, Magpie Gold. The Rose Gold. And lastly, the Candy Pink. And those are all $6.99 each. And then the last item to introduce you to is the sticky stuff, and that is £3.75. And that is all of the goodies.
Just a quick mention that I know a lot of you have been asking about the clear texture paste. That's due in with us, we think, next week.
Oh, I feel you've been telling me this for months.
No, next week.
Months, are you sure?
Yeah.
I think all along he has told us sometime in March,
Yep.
isn't he? So we'll forgive him, but it feels like it's been out of stock forever. But
Yep.
it is a good point, because when our items do sell out, that sold out back in January, and it's taken us from, we'd ordered it before it had sold out, and it's taken us from sort of literally the beginning of January right the way through to the end of March to get them back in stock. So no fear, no sort of pushy sales, but it's just honest. When these items sell out, they do take a long time to come back. And I just tell you that so you're not disappointed. Peter, do we have a winner?
We do. Just a quick shout out to Diane. Diane Waters. It's a diamond wedding day on Thursday when you launch your bits. So 60 years that is. That's
Diane,
lovely.
I hope you have a
Congratulations.
wonderful day to both of you. I hope it's an incredible day. That's a huge achievement. Congrats. I hope it's wonderful. 60 happy years, I hope. 60 years, that is just mind-blowing, isn't it? So well done to both of you, and huge congratulations from both of us.
But a winner this evening to win 3 of Jamie's makes goes to, need this little drum roll, lovely Joyce Champion.
Oh, congratulations, Joyce.
And I'm sure I saw a comment earlier that said she was 87.
Oh,
She's still watching your videos and bits, but she chose Nat King Cole as her
Nat King Cole.
go-to. So congratulations, Joyce.
Joyce. So Joyce, could you please let us know if you would like us to sign the cards or leave them blank, whatever you prefer? And could you please message us with your address so we can have them sent out to you? And as soon as we've got your message come through telling us if you'd like them signed and where to send them to, we'll get one of the team to pop them in the post to you, so you've got them in the next few days. You will potentially have them even before these products are available to purchase, which is something we love to do. Thank you all so much for this evening. It's been a joy to be with you all. I hope we haven't bored you to tears. I'm very conscious we've gone over at overtime, but it's genuinely been a joy. I hope you fell in love with the products as much as we have. And as I always say, I can't wait to see what you create with them. It's one thing us having them, it's one thing us playing with them. It's amazing when we see the DT send their samples in, but the true pleasure out of all of this is when we start seeing what you all create with them, because it's your ideas and your inspiration that really push us forward in what we're doing and how we work and what we're up to. So please don't forget to share with us what you're making on the Created with Jamie Rodgers Crafts page. We do truly love to see what you're doing. So yeah, I know it's hard. Sometimes we're a bit shy. I'm shy. Honestly, the times I post a card and think, oh, why did I do that? Why did I share that? We all have that feeling, we all do that. It's what keeps us humble, it's what keeps us how we are. But it's truly lovely for all of us, me included, to see what you've been creating with our products. So please don't forget to do that if you're up for it. Join the group and share away. They'll be sent off to be approved, and the second they're approved, they will be displayed in the group. And we only do that to make sure that our group, because it's an open group, doesn't get any posts it shouldn't have in it, anything that's a bit naughty. So yeah, it's a safety precaution really, but it's a nice way for us to get to see what you're doing. So please do share with us when you can. From me and Pete, we will say good evening. Thank you once again, and we will see you on Thursday for the shows on Highlight Craft. Oh, and next week we'll be back for Monday Night Natter at 7 p.m. with more inspiration and to celebrate Stockist launch day. So although we'll be on the craft store in the day, we'll be back in the evening with the lovely Monday Night Natter too.
Good night from me.
Over to
hostage cam. Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Good night, all. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for waffling, and look forward to seeing you all on Thursday, if not before. Bye for now.